My TXV bulb was located inside the handler cabinet. I read on my manual that it should be located outside of the cabinet on the suction line. The insulation tape that was provided is worn out. Could I use the insulation that is used on the line set for it?
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm here to answer your HVAC question to your satisfaction. As long as the TXV sensing bulb is securely clamped to the suction line, the full length of the bulb is in contact with the suction line, and if installed on a horizontal section of the suction line, is clamped somewhere between the 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock position on the line. It can be clamped anywhere on the line if the line is not horizontal. It is fine inside the air handler. Yes, you can insulate it with the same insulation that is on your suction line. Electrical tape or zip ties work great to hold the insulation in place. I will say that most manufacturers don't even insulate the TXV bulbs when installed inside the air handlers. That's not that big of a deal, but the valve will react quicker if insulated. Let me know if I can answer anything else about your TXV. Thanks, Brian. Bear in mind that the suction line doesn't start until after all of the lines coming out of the evaporator are attached. Before that point, the line is a manifold. Make sure the bulb is at least a few inches past where the last line out of the evaporator coil comes into the manifold section of the line.
Oh, okay. When you say between 10 and 2 position, what do you mean? The line is long, so I don't know where to count as 12 o'clock position to install from there.
On a horizontal line only, consider the top of the line 12 o'clock on a clock dial. So basically no lower on the line than 60 degrees down either side from the top of the tubing. Again, this is only on a horizontal section of suction line. Any other section that is not horizontal, and you can mount the bulb anywhere around the line. We are taught to do this because the vapor in the suction line at this point in the system is still fairly rich with tiny liquid droplets that are still boiling off. So gravity keeps the expanding droplets lower on the line, and you don't want to sense that. We are really splitting hairs here though. Especially in a 5-ton and under system. It's not going to be a compressor killing deal.
Great. Thanks. You really clear it now. I didn't know that I could install it on the vertical part of the suction line too. I can install it about 12 inches out of the handler cabinet, right?
It's no problem to install the bulb on a vertical line, but it's best to make sure the end of the bulb where the capillary enters it is on the top of the bulb. The capillary can be bent in a pretty small arc as long as you don't kink it. If you want, yes, you can run the capillary and bulb outside of the air handler and install it 12 inches out. Just be careful where the bulb's cap tube goes through the cabinet. It is protected from vibration against the cabinet so you don't get a leak in the cap tube. Make sure the bulb's entire length has good contact with the suction line and it is installed straight, parallel, on the line. The bulb should be tight enough on the line that you can't move it without a lot of force, yet not tight to the point of bending or squashing the bulb.
Is the 10 and 2 o'clock installation of the sensing bulb for all air handlers, or is it just for mine only?
Hello again, Ethan. That is for any TXV on any refrigerant system where you are attaching it to a horizontal line. That's 10 to 2 or anywhere between. That's what was drilled into me as an apprentice. Do you mind if I ask what the problem you are having is? I ask because TXV mounting location is not super critical. It is just something that was drilled into me, and that's why I included the instruction. The more critical thing with TXV bulb mounting is that the bulb is completely in contact with the line along its entire length. Insulating it when mounted outside of the cabinet is more important than location. Having the capillary on the top of the bulb if the bulb is vertically mounted is pretty important too. If all of these things were incorrect, then you would most likely have a valve feed problem. If one out of all of them is incorrect, besides solid clamping to the line, that is paramount, I doubt you will have an issue. If there is a refrigerant superheat or feed issue, it could be related to something else, so feel free to let me know the symptoms and pick my brain. I have worked on TXV systems from fractional tonnage through 125-ton single circuit, so I am well versed in them and their problems. I am also well versed in refrigerant circuit issues that are not TXV related as well. Brian.
I had my line set and evaporator coil freeze up. So I'm trying to diagnose the problem, if it could be the TXV or something else.
Okay, Ethan, I can probably help with that. I see by looking at your other questions here that you have asked for much help on the subject. I will look through all those questions and see if I can glean some kind of reason for what is going on and why your system iced. I may have other questions for you after reading them. There are many different reasons for a system to freeze up. I will get back with you soon. Brian.
Okay, thanks. I've been trying to troubleshoot it by diagnosing each of the things wrong with my system. With my AC installed wrong, it's kind of hard to pinpoint the problem. So, I'm fixing all the problems one by one, and hopefully that will solve it.
Very good, I'll get back with you soon. Thanks, Brian.
Hi Brian, did you get a chance to go over my posts? Is Rheem a good brand?
Is Rheem a good brand? Well, that's the million-dollar question. My opinion in one word. No. Personally, I think Goodman, Amana, is a better low-end brand, even though everyone hates on them. Rheem/Root has always had problems with their equipment over the years. Their equipment is always designed and engineered differently than the norm. Their controls and wiring is non-standard and always a bit weird. They use odd-speed motors. The thing about Rheem is somehow they are brilliant at marketing and saving face. It was always the most popular contractor model, new construction market, so the name became and stays very prominent. On your ISUP issue, I read all your previous AC questions, and the only thing I could really glean from them is that the duct system is questionable. Poor airflow is the number one reason systems ISUP. Number 2 is dirty evaporator coil, which also causes low airflow. Number 3 is running the system at too cold of an indoor temperature. Number 4 is low refrigerant charge, leaking or not charged properly. Number 5 is failed, or failing, fan motor. Number 6 is a faulty metering device, TXV or piston orifice. And number 7 is running the system at low outdoor ambient temperatures, lower than 65. Getting your ductwork correct is important, as you found out. So you are on the right track there. After that, you have to make sure the charge is right and the metering device is supplying the proper amount of refrigerant. These are not easy things to determine and take a lot of experience. Young techs aren't even very good at diagnosing and charging a system properly, and many of them will miss a low airflow problem and try to correct it by adding refrigerant. That turns out to be the number one compressor killer. TXVs are baffling to new techs, and most of them are lost with them. They actually are very simple devices and rarely are the cause of problems. That's not to say they don't fail though.
Okay, I wanted to confirm because I saw a lot of bad review on YouTube regarding Rheem. So low end is Goodman, how about higher end? Thanks so much. Now I know the order I should be diagnosing the trouble.
Again, just my opinion, but I'm sure many more will share the same. These are not in any particular order, they are all solid units, but they also all have their share of problems too. American Standard / Train Carrier / Bryant Lennox ICP, Heil / Tempstar, among others I can't remember, solid middle of the road brand Goodman / Janitrol / Amana, solid lower end brand Ream / Rude, problematic lower end brand Just a Thought. But now that we're into late fall, it can be very hard to diagnose a proper refrigerant charge with the lower outdoor temperatures. You must have a good load on the machine to charge good to get an accurate charge. Brian.
Thanks. I will probably fix those other problems first and wait till warmer weather to check on refrigerant charge. I'm thinking of replacing this unit and putting this one at my shop. What brand do you think I should go with?
Hi Ethan, sorry I've been away for a bit. If it were me, I would probably go for Carrier / Bryant. I think they're the best bang for the buck.
Okay, thanks a lot. Oh, are they noisy?
No, they are no more noisy than any other brand. Maybe not quite as quiet at Train / American Standard, but not obnoxious.
Lol, okay, great. I've heard some really noisy ones visiting my friends.
Very good then.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert, now visit justanswer.com/YTHI.